Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to today's video where we are going to talk about the upcoming new moon solar eclipse happening at 2 degrees of Scorpio. And wow, doesn't this have some impact beyond just looking at the chart? Even if we took all of the aspects away and could just see the way the sky is shaping, the comfort of the planets in each of the signs as they are traveling right now, this is definitely giving us a good picture of the story of change and evolution for each of us. So let's take a minute to, first of all, I know we typically have video going on this channel as well, but I'm trying to take the opportunity to create some things where you can just listen and not have to watch so much, as well as we do close in, moving towards Scorpio season, to allow us all to just relax and listen and process just a little bit. Don't worry, we'll be back to video in no time. I can't stand not dancing around on the internet. So all right, let's take a look at this. So first and foremost, what we've got going for us is we do have this new moon solar eclipse happening at this 2 degrees of Scorpio energy. So let's make this pin red. So we see that the eclipse is happening as a new moon energy when the sun and the moon are traveling together in the sky. So that means that absolutely anything is possible, because they come together under a new moon energy, which means that, first of all, it's dark in the sky. Okay, so as you're listening to this, think about your life right now, something you're going within, you have to go within, and it's kind of dark. You don't know exactly. You're going to the space of the spirit, and it's a little bit dark and you don't know, but it is very, very fertile. Okay, the ground and the seed and the moisture that is available in this particular eclipse is so illuminating to our emotional life, to our what we need to have ourselves be nurtured, to this portion of our lives, and we have not been able to see it or move with it as clearly because we've been traveling in the dark. So ultimately we become placed at this particular new moon in a position to understand that, for good or for ill, whatever we plant, whatever we decide to take on and work with, whatever is revealed to us, whatever we're ready to take steps forward to understanding, for good or for ill, we're going to unfold this for at least over the next 3 to 6 months. And certainly we will unfold this, well into 2023, when we see that transiting south node get to 2 degrees of Scorpio before it gets ready to move on into the Libra, Aries axes. Okay, so I want you to have some timing to think about that where you're awakening, what's coming to your attention, where you're having these new beginnings. And even if you don't have full clarity to them, you will be awakening, becoming more and more aware to them, becoming more cooperative with your own life, and taking steps towards, correcting the resource, correcting the relationship, correcting the power dynamic as we travel into 2023. So don't worry, it's not that you need to know it all today, okay? Now, it is still an eclipse, right? So it is still a lunar event that is happening. Our luminaries are together. So, sometimes what a new moon solar eclipse can create for sure is this energy where it's like, okay, well, I'm ready. I want to surge. I want to jump. I want to move forward. Let's go. I'm ready to start, and Scorpio is a deep energy. So it is a deep welling that would come from within, where you feel like, I need to make important changes in my life, right? And I need to do them Mars now, right? The plutonic part of Scorpio says deep changes, freeing myself from bonds and unburdening myself, making these changes. And the Martian side is like, let's do it now. But I want us to remember a couple things. The ruling planets of this particular lunation, first of all, Pluto has just recently come out of retrograde. So Pluto is genuinely reminding us of what we've seen in terms of structures, authority, what we believed to be the way, that things had to get done, right? We've seen great changes in our structures and in the structures that guide our lives. And Mars, the other ruling planet, is heading into retrograde. So it is perfectly slowed down, getting ready. It's just vibrating here at this 25 degrees at this point, waiting to turn retrograde. So what this gives an indicator is if this push, this reaction, which is of the moon, to make big changes, to make grand changes, to leap out there today, is pushing on you. These two slow and informed planets are kind of giving us an opportunity that says, hold on, let's watch the unfolding, and let's remember that if it has to happen right now, that might be fear, as opposed to if it is in a plan, in a system, something that has been revealed to us, we're able to process our feelings, we're able to understand the power dynamics that are involved and be healthy as we make choices going forward. That's a much better place to use any of those urges that may be calling to us, okay? Now, we cannot forget that at this particular moon as well, we have got Venus absolutely in conjunction here with the sun and the moon at this lunar eclipse. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the comfort level of the moon, okay? The moon traveling through Scorpio is said to be in fall, and it's because the moon does want to feel and it wants to have this experience and share its emotions, and emotions are not a bad word. But in the energy of Scorpio, it has to go so deep. The reactions, the calling, the information, the revelation is so deep that it can actually be uncomfortable. It's the deep urgent reaction that feels like, if I don't meet this need, if I don't have this reaction, if I don't change this, I could die, right? And when the moon is not nurtured, we will flee. Right? So if we're not nurturing ourselves, we'll flee. Now, Venus is also not in the most comfortable position in the energy of Scorpio either, because Venus wants to be accommodating and lovely and shake the head and make people and make things comfortable and just an ease and a grace. And in Scorpio, Venus has to take these ideas of harmony, of beauty, and of value to the depths of the core of Venus energy. So what does this look like? It means that from our lunar energies all the way down to our value structures, to what we find beautiful, to the way we've talked about ourselves or the people in our lives having value or having beauty, we are having to get to the bare bones of that, down into the depths, and say, well, is that my belief? Or is that a belief that maybe society was given to me? Is that a belief that I'm still carrying at this point in my life? Or am I finding out that, yes, maybe I thought I really wanted this thing, and when I reevaluate my current value structures, when I reevaluate my own self-esteem that comes from what I deeply, Scorpio, believe brings me innate value, do I still believe the way that I've been living? And if the answer to many of these major questions around that power dynamic of value, or the power dynamic, it's Venus, of relationships or money, is coming to our table. You know, have you been in a position or a place where maybe you valued money in a different way, and now you're having a really different experience with it as the world travels forward? And this is that dance of the Scorpio power struggle in our lives, right? You know, so what does this look like for you? Do you feel like you have an energetic dance with finances that is easy, you're in the flow? Yes, some things are going here or there. Or is it a little bit more Scorpionic? In the depths of who you are afraid around money? This is a fantastic and potent and powerful chapter in your life, a time where you can unfold concepts for yourself, allow your fears to be revealed, unburden yourself by saying, okay, I don't feel good in this area of my life. I do not feel on track in this area of my life. Who can I learn from? Who can become an influence in my life, right? Like, this is a fantastic way to take that urge and that action and start something different. Where can I go? What's a resource I can learn from. And it is a resource that is going to get into the bowels and the belly and the nasty and the ucky of what's going on for you. It is uncomfortable. I'm afraid of money. I don't know how to work with it. And it is going to call you to your fears. It is going to call you and walk with you and raise you to understand this area. If this is in the vein of your relationships, right? What are the power dynamics that have been happening in your relationship? Are you in a relationship or a marriage and maybe you've been there long term and you feel like this is it? There's nothing else to be had here. I gotta go, or I don't know what to do next. And again, you're hit in the belly, Scorpio, of that. It's either got to have a fresh start or I've got to unburden myself of this relationship. Your dynamics with children, even, where have you been? Maybe you've had a little bit more control in that relationship, and now you're starting to see that some of those bonds can also be loosened there, where you don't have to be the end all be all. There can be some space for your children to express differently. What are the Venus areas of your life where beauty and harmony and value are trying to prevail? And you become really aware at this eclipse that an unfolding new story is available for you if you're willing to invest in the resources that allow you to develop the skills, that allow you to say out loud the things that you need to deeply grow in, because that's the space of the fundamental and important changes of your life that will pour out over this next 3 to 6 months. So what does this area look like for you? Now, many of you have asked me about a reference that I gave in the videos back to 2014, and we had a partial solar eclipse in the energy of Scorpio that also aligned with Venus, funny enough, on October 14th, October 25th, 2014. So again, I ask you to go back in your life around money, around things around your value system. How do you value yourself? Where's your self-esteem? What do you value? People cooperating and helping you in your life in terms of your personal relationships. People who maybe had to get very deeply involved in your life at that time, and maybe you let them, maybe you didn't, right? Maybe somebody wanted to be a financial counselor for you, or a relationship counselor, or an addiction counselor, or an astrology mentor, and you couldn't let it at the time. What was it? There is an intimacy, there is a power dynamic, there is a control dynamic that is alive and is awakening. But the beautiful part, I think, about all of this is not just that it's awakening so that you can go, oh, good, my life is sideways. It is not that at all. We have to remember that the universe is cosmically in a conspiracy to help you live your best life. Okay, I used to say the universe is in a cosmic conspiracy to help you be on fleek. You remember when fleek was a good word? Like, I think we got to get a new story, right? So in the extremes that you may feel in this, there is this reminder that what Scorpio energy does at its finest, deepest, most delicious evolution is it's the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? Right here at 2 degrees, this is the beginning portion. You don't know everything that there is to know yet. We've got all of Scorpio season to make it through. So now the revelations, the how am I going to make a plan to be more effective, to garner the resources I need, to have the courage to tell the truth. And by the time we arrive at the end of Scorpio season, you find yourself with more information about what's really going on and how you can free yourself from your burdens, but also a little bit more clarity, I think, and willingness to not keep things to yourself and move forward. And again, I think we see full resolution to what is revealed to each of us by the time we get into 2023. I mean, it's really, I think, a pretty profound energy to be dealing with. And as you can see on the screen too, we've also got the South Node that is looking by screen right here in conjunction with this energy. For me, that orb is just a bit too wide, so I'm not quite prepared to talk about scooping up particularly that south node. But one of the things I can tell you is that no matter what, go back into your life thinking about the nodes 19 years ago. What was going on in 2003 in your life, in the Scorpio and Taurus axes? And likely you missed the boat. I've said it over and over and over again. You likely missed the boat. There was an opportunity, something that you wanted to do, something that you wanted to study, someplace that you wanted to go, something that you wanted to do, and life kind of interrupted. And in that interruption, you made deals, you made agreements about power dynamics with yourself. You developed a belief system about yourself. You found patterns with money, with people, with belief systems that felt comfortable at the time and gave you this illusion of being in control of your life, and they don't fit anymore. So now is this opportunity with the Taurus and Scorpio axes to go back to what that 19 years ago was and now approach it with wisdom. Right? Did you want to travel and now you're finding out like, oh my God, I can travel now. And in order for me to travel, I have to really tell the truth about my money. I have to really tell the truth about this paperwork. I have to really, whatever it is, you're much more in alignment. And I really think that the revelations themselves at this time are done under a new moon basis, which is to plant seeds of intention, to bring revelation, bring action, bring fresh start to, even places we started to feel a little bit tired. I can't say it enough, but keeping in mind that a burden shared, when we open our mouths, talk about where we're at, what we're really experiencing, honestly, deep down in the scary place, right? When we do that, a burden shared is half a burden. And when you learn that humanity comes with suffering at some level, when you learn how to share, we learn how to suffer, and we suffer less, right? So a burden shared is half a burden, and this is doable. And this is also the time in the world where this is a reminder not to give up on where you've been wanting to go. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on humanity. Don't give up on your light. We are in a time of major developments that call for you to not just cling to the understanding that there is innate light to be given, to be shared, and to be held, but also that you don't need to cling to the beliefs of the past anymore, because they no longer allow you to shine your light as big and as bright as is needed for you to have the experience, and therefore for us to have the experience that is needed going forward. So I'd like to remind you before we close this that you are capable, you are not alone, and open your mouth and share the real truth of the something new you would like to start to have a different experience with your life. All right, my beautiful friends, I hope that the audio version was something pleasurable and you can put it on and walk around and have a listen. Also, please share with me in the comment section down below, where is this happening in your chart? Remember to grab your chart, and you want to look at 2 degrees of Scorpio or 2 degrees of Taurus. Where is that happening in your chart? If you're not sure yet how to find transits in your chart, I've got a video in my description box down below that shows you exactly how to find the active transit in your birth chart. All right, my beautiful friends, I love you. Until next time, bye.